I am not smart enough or pretty enough. I'm not interesting enough, funny enough. I am undeserving. I feel like a fraud. I am not perfect. Sound familiar? I hope not, but I have a sneaking suspicion I am not alone in falling into the trap of negative self-talk. Why do we expect more from ourselves than we do from others? Why, as women, does it often seem like we work ourselves to exhaustion while at the same time feeling guilty and burnt out and full of self-hate? Always something to prove. Self-worth that is defined by external accomplishments and making decisions from a place of lack, just waiting for the recognition of others, more money, stuff, beauty, brains. Today's show is about learning to accept our imperfections, sharing the fears that hold us back, and learning to overcome them. Welcome to today's episode of Beauty Brains Bubbly Uncorked.
Welcome to another Friday on the couch. I have to tell you that we brought back a guest that has been on before because she was so incredibly wonderful to chat with. I learned so much and I needed her help again. So she's back with us today. Again, Kara, my co-host, my partner in crime in all things, is here. And Tiffany Falvey, who is amazing, is going to walk us through how to get past negative self-talk.
We need your help.
And we all do this? We all do this, right? I'm not the only person that's got that little critic that's just wanting to like chirp constantly.
Yeah, I think that most of us are pushing ourselves to a disturbing degree, and when we don't measure up to the level that we compare ourselves to, it's not just pushing ourselves, but we compare ourselves to our peers, to our family, and there really isn't a comparison because we're all so uniquely different and we all are fulfilling a unique role within this beautiful dance that we're all playing. And when we don't understand what our role is, we think that perhaps we should be the surgeon instead of the patient. So think about that for a second. If you're the patient, right, and you're coming in as the victim, right, you're hurt, you're wounded,
right,
and you have all this negative self-talk because you were an idiot that tripped over the sprinkler, and now you've hurt your ankle and you were meant to run in a race with your great girlfriend the day after, and you have all this negative self-talk. Well, in that moment, you are meant to be the victim, to be cared for, and the hero is the doctor that comes in that cares for you. Now that can shift the day after, and you can be the hero as your child hurts their wrist and you're helping it out, or your girlfriend's going through heartache and you can help her out. But in any given moment, if you understand what your role is, your self-talk about yourself will lessen. So let's say it's a job thing.
Okay.
And you go into a job and you feel like you should be more successful than what you are, right? So you say, well, what's my role? Is my role to learn in this job? Is my role to contribute my thoughts to this job? Is my role to teach in this job or to speak in this job? Or to manage in this job? Whatever your role is, if you stick to your role, just like a movie, I always tell people it's like a movie. What is your role? Your negative self-talk will go way down if you say, my role right here is to be the villain, and I'm going to do a darn fine job at being the villain. And then you won't guilt yourself or shame yourself because you're being the villain.
I knew we were going to be friends forever.
So I think that will help most people minimize the mind chatter that's happening in their head if they say, so right now, am I designed to be perfect? Most of the time you're going to say, well, I don't have to be perfect right now because I don't know this job completely. Right. I haven't been on this couch 100 times.
Right.
Right? And even if you've been on the couch 100 times, I always say, and this is a weird metaphor, is I live along this beautiful river and world-class kayakers die all the time. World-class, like amazing kayakers die and the water just consumes them. And you say, well, how can you be so perfect all the time? Because there are people that aren't as perfect that make it down those rapids just fine. And then there are people that just have these experiences. And so the self-talk is just being the best you can be in any given moment without judging yourself and expecting, because if that particular kayaker was in heaven saying, oh my gosh, what was wrong with me?
Yeah.
It's so crazy that I happened to die on that little wave, and then this little amateur goes by and does just fine. You can see how silly that is even from the other side.
Right.
Because you go, you know what, there's a purpose, you ran it amazing, and
You never know when it's your turn.
yeah, you just never know. And so that self-talk is you having an expectation of who you should be,
Right.
or what you should be doing, or the experience that you think you should be having. And that's the danger of it. Unless we're talking vision boards, which we have spoken about before, life isn't a vision board. Life is an experience. And so you can't really tack your vision to every experience in real time. You can only do that if you and I and all of us decide that we're going to plot a bunch of magazines and start cutting.
Yeah.
Then we can do that. But that rarely happens in real time when you're walking around.
Yeah.
You don't get to have that like lead time to prepare for it. So then you go, oh my gosh, how do I match my experience with what I think I should be having so that I feel good about myself right now?
I've been doing my job for 20-ish years, and I will get to places mentally or maybe emotionally, maybe they're both the same at that point, but where, you know, I feel like I'm not helping, I'm not doing this, this person's coming in with the same thing that they had last time, or, you know, because I do body work, and I do a very specific type of body work in addition to the hundreds of other little tools that I can use that I have also, but we mainly stick to one type. And I'll get this thing in my head like, man, I'm just not good enough to do this. Like I'm not, and I look around at like my teachers or, you know, the people that I've met who do the similar, you know, or even not so similar types of body work, where I just go, oh, I just want to be like that. And then like I literally have to remind myself, I am not here to fix you. I am here to facilitate whatever your body needs to do. Don't forget your job. Like, because the minute I forget my job, I feel inadequate. I can't fix anybody. All I can do is try to help you and your body get where they need to be. It's not my job to fix you like nature fixes. You know, it's something that I regularly, and it happens too with people that I have every time I have a new client, I'm like, okay, I'm like doing my little like sports talk in the back room. I'm like, okay, because every time you meet a new client, you're meeting a new set of what their expectations are.
Right. Well, and sometimes it's really fun for me because I have that happen as a coach. Mm-hmm. You know, you see someone come in week after week and they bring the same thing to the table, and you're like, I've had that cocktail. Didn't we drink that last week for a whole hour? You're
Yeah.
like, let's change it up. So sometimes I just ask them, what do you think the purpose is of you staying stuck? Like, what's the purpose of you staying stuck? Yeah. And oftentimes their brain will tell you, they will say, I'm staying stuck because I'm not ready to heal.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing in your profession, and it has nothing to do with how skilled you are.
Nope.
Because you could be God, right? And you could have the potential to create these miracles for people. And you can only heal to the extent that someone is ready and willing to be healed. And that's a hard one for any practitioner or anyone that's out there that's healing. You see this all the time with disease or cancer, where some people heal. And you go, well, what's the difference between someone that healed and someone that didn't heal? And a lot of it has to do with people that are so accustomed to the role of being a victim. So when
they get something out of it.
Yeah, they get it's like a fringe benefit. So they've lived their whole life caring for other people, and this happens a lot with cancer. They've lived their whole life caring for other people, and all of a sudden they get sick, and their body says, oh my God, I have permission right now to be cared for by others. And it's heart-wrenching because it's real. It's very real. Mm-hmm. And they all of a sudden have family members that have never been there for them ever before, caring for them and and helping them. And once they realize that is helpful for them, they can heal. They can actually heal out of allowing others to dump that beautiful energy into them. But if you have someone that comes in that thinks that they have to take care of the world or whatever it is, and they're not ready to be healed, they won't allow you or any of your energy to affect them. But they think they misunderstand themselves. They think they're ready.
We all.
They misunderstand
But it's
themselves.
interesting how my own negative self-talk can be amplified literally just by tiny nuggets of someone else's little schisms, their own little things, and all of a sudden their things have matched up with my shit bleep, and it can feel like a mess.
So give an example of someone else's schism. Is that the word?
That's
My
yeah.
little schisms.
Yeah, give an example of that.
Like when I have someone come in and, like, not to get into too much real technical talk, but there's circumstances, for instance, around like the heart connective tissues, where a person who is under a lot of stress, or who is basically someone who sometimes they make their own life hard, or they're like you said, they're not in a position to be receiving help, or these sort of things, and I can tell you physically what's wrong with that person, and then I can fix it. I can release the tissues that are holding the heart, like where they're not supposed to be. The heart needs to be able to move in a particular fashion to be able to do its most effective work. And I do all of the correct technical things. And that the psyche of this person is they're too serious. They like being seen by professionals. They go through all of these motions, and it's twofold. I don't want to be part of helping you keep your schism. I don't enjoy that. I'm not going to pretend that I can help you when I can't, if you're not able to bring me back. I mean, you have yourself 99.9% of the time. Right. I have you the rest of it, and so, but when they come back and I'm like, maybe I'm in a different mind space, and then I just go, oh, I didn't help you. Oh no, my neck still hurts. It's this, it's that. And I'm like, well, and your heart's all tight again. Like, what then? And then I'm reminding myself that how this person thinks, feels, engages in the world is in a manner that allows that particular tissue to restrict the stress tissues. And so the thorax, which is basically from here to here, is like the most closely guarded by the nervous system, right, because it does hold a lot of our emotions. It holds our fight or flight. It holds all kinds of things. And you get stuck in that, like, your schism is creating this environment that's allowing you to be sick, and you want me to fix it. And I feel completely inadequate to do that.
Which makes sense, because you're in the profession.
It's not my job. It's not my job.
You're in the profession because you love watching people heal. Yeah. And some people don't go to a practitioner to heal. They go to stay.
They want to keep it. They love seeing a professional about it.
Yeah. And so once you realize
and they love to talk. They want to talk to me through it. And I'm like, oh, you should tell me about this, because, like, you can literally pick up when someone is talking, the tissues can move in a different way. And you're like, ooh, now talk about this. And let's see if we can work that out. But if that doesn't change, it's for nothing. And then I'm pointless.
I don't know that you're pointless, but it's not accomplishing what in your mind is what you want to see happen, which is a healing that can't happen to the extent that you would like to see, because they're just, again, not ready for it. But that doesn't.
And I spent a lot of time calling myself a facilitator. I'm just a facilitator of your person of your health of your body right now. And I'm more than happy to refer you to this or that, or maybe you should see a counselor, or, you know, that kind of thing.
Maybe you should go see Tiff.
I know.
So sometimes what people want is they say, I want the accounting on how to get to here. So let's take weight loss, because that's an easy one.
Okay.
So I want to know how to drop 100 pounds. That's super easy accounting, right? So you go, okay, you need to take in less than what you're...
Put down Susie Q.
Well, yeah, just stop eating. So there's simple accounting to it, right?
Right.
And what I have found is, yes, I can help you lose 100 pounds, but the issue is still going to be there, which means that underneath the weight loss is still going to be all the things that cause you to gain the weight. And you're still going to feel all of the same ways. And I, as a practitioner, am going to feel like a failure because I haven't really helped you with the problem. I've put this big Band-Aid on it to help you feel better because you're misunderstanding yourself, and you think if you've lost the weight, you're going to feel better. But in reality, you're going to feel exactly the same. You're going to be the same person. You're going to look in the mirror. You're going to have body dysmorphia. You're going to say, I'm not as skinny as I want to be. I'm not as in shape as I want to be. I don't have the, I mean, it's going to be a plethora of things that's going to come out. And at the end of the day, what I want is for them to love themselves no matter what size they are. I want the healing to happen from essentially just allowing someone like you to come in and work on them. Like, you can be very passive, I think, in some of the healing once you're ready for it to happen. And then you come in, and your job can be so easy because you do what comes so naturally to you. You just walk in and you do what you do, and they receive that, and they're able to reap the benefits. Whereas if they're resisting it, you can do all the work, all the work. And your self-talk is obviously your self-talk. And well, let's go conversely. If they say, she's not helping me, she's not helping me, she's not helping me, that's their self-talk that's getting in the way of it, right? Because they think that someone else is in control of that. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to recognize our role, because it'll reduce some of that negative self-talk. But we haven't talked about what your negative self-talk is. I'm curious.
I think
We all see you as perfect, by the way.
what's that?
We all see you as perfect, by the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine you have any.
No, I mean, all the things I said, I mean, I really do. I find myself, I mean, this, again, I go back to what we're doing even like right now. In wanting to do this show, it's a scary thing, right? You're putting yourself out there, and you're getting on a camera, and you're talking about really intimate things publicly with a whole bunch of people. And I couldn't help at times to stop and go, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not going to be able to have a conversation for a half an hour in front of a camera. Yeah, like I am not enough in who I am right now. Who am I to think that I deserve or am enough to be able to sit here and do this show and put this out in the world, and that anyone would give a crap or want to watch? Like, who do you think you are? That's sometimes I feel like what holds me back, and it keeps me from taking really big risks. And so one of the things that I admire and have always admired about, like, Kara, for example, and why I love having her as a friend in my life, is I love people who are just them. They just have no problem making a complete, not that you make a fool of yourself.
No, I do. You don't have to be nice.
She has no problem putting herself out there, being wholly who she is, fully comfortable in her skin, her life, her body, her choices. And she doesn't edit any of that for anyone else. And I love that. And that to me is like that place that I aspire to be. I want to be the person that gets up and does the crazy dance and doesn't care if I have makeup on or if I look exactly, fully perfect. Like that I
do love when you come
into it.
around and go, you have to throw those shoes out. I I mean, you have to know that over here, I'm like not what you see all the way.
So we have to do this really quick because I love this book. This book came to me like a couple of weeks ago from my future mother-in-law, and it's just so good. So read the title so everyone can hear this.
Just when you're comfortable in your own skin, it starts to sag.
Which is kind of where I feel like I'm at right now in my life. But what's great about this is last night we're sitting around with this, and Kara was just opening it and just picking a random page and saying a quote out of it. And I was like, that is brilliant. It's so good.
Yes.
So we have deemed this the Magic 8 Ball. So I want Kara to just randomly open it, pick a spot, and read something out of it.
I just missed my first period. I'm freaking out. Will my vagina dry up next Wednesday? God, I hope not.
What are you, 9 days late? You're
9 days late.
I feel like
I want to do the
maybe
Magic
10.
8 Ball. Can I do it?
Okay, you gotta warm it
Okay,
up. You don't forget. You gotta grease the wheel.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like this is one of those daily meditations, right?
it's so good.
For me, happiness is a blend of who you are and the person you want to be in the world. It's having some mindfulness around who I do want to be and who I do not want to be. A certain inner compass or awareness. Can I feel good about the interactions with people I love? Not just, I figured this career out and I made a bunch of money. What are the other paths? That's a quote by Amy from Avalon.
Oh, I love Amy from Avalon,
Yeah.
wherever you are in the world
Amy
now.
from Avalon.
Cheers to Amy.
Yeah,
And this book, which, by the way, if anyone is interested, it's up on the website, and you can click the link. It'll take you to Amazon where you can purchase it. And I love just using it like that, honestly, Magic 8 Ball. If you're just having one of those days.
This was my favorite way to read parenting books too. I was all, yep.
Just
Figured that one out.
Got that one.
Probably why I screwed that parenting thing up.
All right, so I want to take a quick moment and I want to go to our beauty segment. So let's roll that and we'll talk about it really briefly.
Are you like most people, jittery, nervous, tired? A recent Gallup poll found that 79% of Americans feel stressed out, sometimes or frequently, during the day. And it's a fact, a third of us are dramatically sleep deprived. Did you know that 100 million people are suffering from chronic pain? And addictive prescription drugs are just not the answer, especially when you consider all of the dangerous side effects that are associated. Many professionals in the medical community are beginning to embrace CBD products as the affordable, all-natural, and easy-to-use solution for a healthier lifestyle. After doing some research, I chose Sera Labs, and here's why.
Try Sera Labs breakthrough products for yourself. Our Sera Relief CBD oil is sublingual, placed under your tongue for an easy-to-use, highly concentrated extract for everyday use. The Sera Relief Pain Relief Cream helps soothe sore muscles, aching joints, and quickly cools on the skin for fast relief. This topical cream is made of pure CBD hemp, aloe vera, and Sera Labs' proprietary mix of 4 active ingredients in our exclusive MCA complex. And for those of you with a sweet tooth, Sera Labs' delicious CBD Miracle Gummies help calm, relax, and get you ready for a great night of sleep. Sera Labs uses the most advanced scientific practices, along with the highest quality ingredients, to provide you with safe, effective CBD solutions to your health needs. We are dedicated to helping you lead a healthier, happier life. All Sera Labs CBD raw hemp has been scientifically extracted to remove toxins, metals, and THC, and then third-party tested to ensure consistency and efficacy. Whether you are fighting aches and pains, stress, or sleeplessness, you can count on the quality and affordability of Sera Labs hemp-derived CBD products.
So for those out there that don't know this, their CBD and the hemp plant versus THC, these are different things. So you can take CBD for health reasons and not have to be involved in the THC portion of that at all, because it's the difference between the male plant and the female plant. So that's first and foremost, is I think that people need to understand that CBD, not necessarily THC, right? So you don't have to get the psychogenic properties of THC and still be able to take CBD and get all of the wonderful health benefits that are there.
Also, apparently does not show up on a drug test.
No,
CBD.
it doesn't show up on a drug test.
So
In fact,
don't have to be worried about that.
you do not. So here's what's fascinating. So I came across, again, this is another really cool, my job is amazing. The fact that I get introduced to some of this stuff that, I never would have known about. So this was something I was fascinated by. I ended up getting involved with these guys and doing a whole interview of an actual doctor, a pain doc, right? And talking about people who get addicted to opioids. And he uses CBD to help get people off of those pain meds and moves them onto a straight CBD product. There's so many things that CBD can do for people's lives. And what's crazy is if you go back to originally what happened is hemp is an amazing plant, first of all. And what originally happened was it was used for paper and clothing and all of these other products. But it was the paper industry that was basically losing profits from all of the people that were growing the hemp. It's cheaper, they can get more out of it, you're not taking down trees, like the whole processing was easier. So it was the paper industry over money that put a stop and made the hemp illegal. So again, we go back to industry, profits. Thank goodness for whatever you think about THC and, that becoming legalized in some states and all of that. Just the fact that we are looking at that plant and the medicinal properties that are available to us and taking away the stigma of it being a drug is incredible. And I hope that more people will get rid of marijuana and THC out of their brains. And if you're not ready for that, although I do think that there's some really great stuff with that as well, when you combine the two, at least look at the CBD because, boy, the studies and the things that we're going to have now coming out, I think, in the future as they start to use it more, study it more, and whatnot, I think are going to be incredible.
I always laugh a little bit at people who are in this mindset. And it happens, I think, a lot with a little bit older people, my parents' age, where they're like, no, I can't use that. It's a drug. And I'm like, you take like 32 drugs a day. What do you mean it's a drug?
Yes.
Like
That's so true.
This actually doesn't hurt you in any way. But all of these things are killing your liver and your intestinal lining and all of these other things. But that's okay with you? Because some guy who you see 3 times a year gives it to you and he doesn't even like you.
You're talking about the actual physicians that are prescribing
he doesn't like you.
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, he doesn't care about sure he cares about your outcome in the sense of how it looks on him, but he's just going to give you whatever drug that the last rep showed up with.
Well, it's not only that, that's not part of their education process.
No.
So as a physician, they're looking at pharmaceuticals. They're not going outside of that necessarily and getting any kind of education or deep study on alternative medicines. That's just not in their wheelhouse. It's not set up, the system is not set up for that.
I feel like there's getting to be more. There's not a lot in any small sense of the word.
Well, they're paid.
But there's this new sort of, it's not even new. The naturopaths, which we're getting more and more of, are basically doctors who are eschewing the whole like modern medicine, big farm thing, like that are starting to become much more accessible to people, and they're hearing about this and they're working on the nutrition and they're working on, here, let's try these holistic approaches and get this body work and, stop eating these foods. And that's actually becoming a much more successful scenario than here's your 3 pills. I didn't even touch you our whole visit and I'm just guessing.
So here's the bottom line. A lot of people are not educated between the difference between CBD and THC. So there's a fear associated with it. And it's really important for people to do their own research. Like, if you don't have access to a computer, talk to people. Go out and find out what the benefits are and then experiment, because this is something that comes from the earth. This is a medicinal herb that is completely natural. So you won't know if it's helpful for you until you try it. And if there's something that could help you, wouldn't you want to try it?
Yes, I would.
I
Yeah.
would.
Well, and it's not a magic drug. Like,
No.
you're not going to take it and feel all of these amazing, crazy effects from
But you
just
could.
CBD. You are more likely to have a little bit more of a lead time for having your body catch
Right.
up, lowering inflammation, doing all those kinds of things. And having lower inflammation in general
huge.
is huge.
Yeah.
It helps every process.
There's some really great studies and research and stuff on this particular Sera Labs and their stuff. The founder has an amazing story. And one of the things that she said, and I thought it was a really great point, she said it's not necessarily that you take it. It's not a one-time shot. You don't just take CBD and immediately you have relief
It's
of symptoms.
compounding.
It's something that you take over time. And she said it's so subtle. It's waking up and realizing one day that pain that you had in your foot, let's say, for the last 6 months, you suddenly are walking around going, gosh, that's weird. I don't have that pain any longer. And so it's that kind of a thing. It's a slow burn to get to a place where it's not it's not an immediate fix. It's it's just suddenly at some point it'll register, I feel good.
Right.
I'm sleeping well. Or, do you know what I mean? That
It
kind
also
of a thing.
alleviates negative self-talk.
I wish.
Okay, so, and remember that not all CBD is created equal. So when
sure.
you look at a company like Sera Labs that's creating this higher quality CBD, you want to do your research, because sometimes it becomes like a brand, and you just want to make sure that you're getting the highest quality possible
Yes.
to put in your body.
It's such the thing right now that there's a lot of garbage out there, really, truly. Like, it just isn't good quality product, and it's not going to really do anything for you. So don't think you're just going to run out and grab something.
Yeah, the nearest CBD.
Yeah, like, really, this is one of those things. Like, go online, do your homework,
Right.
and then pick a company that you buy from that is just putting out really good quality stuff, and that there's studies and they have, it's lab tested, and you can look at the results of the lab tests, all of that stuff. Like, this isn't one I would mess around with. Like, it's too the thing right now, and there's too many people trying to make a quick buck on it.
Yeah, don't waste your money.
Don't waste your money,
Don't waste your
because you
money.
want to find a reputable company that really cares about your health, and they're coming at it from the right mindset, not, hey, this is the new hip cool
Right,
thing and I'm going to make a couple bucks on it, while it's hot. So, okay, I want to really quickly, because we've been talking a lot, I do want to do a really quick question of the day. This will be a good one. Okay. Share an embarrassing moment in your life.
Go.
I have to go first.
I'll go first, because
Okay.
this is a really easy
Okay.
one for me, partly because I have to pee right now, so it's the first thing that's popping into my head. I was doing a show on stage, and I've had 3 children, so incontinence can be an issue for me at times, particularly when I get the giggles. And it was like this, right? So we're on stage, there's a whole audience of people watching this show. I'm in this dress. And the one thing that the director had said, we had this really expensive red chair that was on loan from like a furniture store, and we were drinking on set. So he was like, whatever you do not spill on the red chair, because I want my money. We're not paying for this thing. So opening, we're out there, we're drinking, ha 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 ha, we're playing these party games in this show, right? And we're out there for like the whole first act. And there's a moment where we stand up and it's like cheering, laughing. I peed my pants.
You
On
peed the red
stage.
chair.
In front of an entire audience of people. And all I could think about was, I have to sit down now in this red chair and he is going to kill me. So when we were done, I went back and I was like, okay, look, here's the deal. I did not spill on the red chair, but I did pee on it a little bit. So there you go. That's mine.
Apparently,
Do
you're
we want to stick to that theme?
though.
Because I imagine that we could all have one like
Do
that.
we all have a...
I definitely have one like that. Do you have one like that?
No.
Okay.
You also have a I peed my pants story?
Yeah, so my son, both my boys, they do the same soccer practice when they were younger, and this is like years ago. And they would go to the soccer practice, and I would take my dog, and I would go for a walk in the hills. And I knew exactly how much time it would take for me to get up to a certain point, and I'd check my watch, and I'd get back just in time. So I get up, and it turned out that that particular day was a shortened, like half the day practice. And I just hike. Like, I'm at the age where running is like, it's like not happening because of that. Like, I need like a lot of protection for that. So I said, okay. So I get the phone call, which luckily I had the phone on me, and my son said, Mom, where are you? We are finished with soccer. Get here. And I'm like, oh. I said, I'll be right there. I'm in the hills, the foothills. So I go sprinting down, and I could feel it start to happening, right? Because this isn't like a controlled jog. This is, I'm late for my sons and I'm a half hour out and they're done with soccer practice. And the coaches don't leave until the mommies or daddies.
Guilt,
Yeah,
mom
so
guilt.
Guilt and shame and the whole thing. So I start sprinting down the trail and I feel it coming. And there was a moment in my head where I go, oh, well, it's okay. It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna roll down. And I get to the bottom and I'm in these gray sweatpants and it's like this big dark spot, right? And I'm just hoping that nobody sees because I'm in all of my glory and I'm there for my kids. And we get to the car, my son goes, so what happened? Like, you spill your water bottle on yourself?
Girl, yes.
And I'm like, I was in a hurry to get you, and things happen to mommies at certain ages, and you should just be happy that I've made it.
That's mom love
It was
right there.
so embarrassing, though, because I had to get over whatever pride that I'd had previously to where you could hide it, because this one, there was no hiding, and I knew that I had to stand there in front of all the kids and the coaches, and whether or not they saw it, that was pretty irrelevant. It was the fact that I had to get over whatever thing that I thought I had to be in order to be a woman or be a great mom. And I was like, hey, I'm a great mom. I made it. I might be wet,
A little bit.
but I'm here.
Yeah.
Did this jog your memory? I know it's not going to be about, incontinence, but what else you got?
No, actually, it's really funny because I was just thinking about the last time that you and I were like, yeah, let's try this like vapey weed pen thing. And we were coughing and coughing and coughing. And then I was like, I just peed. I mean, is this better than what I was feeling before? I don't know. Like, I just...
The coughing's the worst, though. That I think that does something that you can't, or a sneeze, a cough or a sneeze.
it
It really is an involuntary type of situation.
Yeah. And then invariably someone's like, did you pee?
I mean,
Shut up.
Have you ever been
What
at
if
the
I
mall
did?
and you go in for like a cough or a sneeze and you cross your legs? Like, you stop exactly what you're doing, you cross your legs, and you wonder if
You
anyone
hope.
notices that
No.
you're like stopped and you're
You're right.
crossed.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love this so much, and I think that this is a great place to wrap. All right. Cheers, ladies. Cheers. An amazing Friday on the couch. We love you all. We hope you will be back with us next week.
Have a great weekend.
Yay!
Thanks for watching. Beauty Brains Bubbly Uncorked is about embracing life's challenges, taking mighty risks, and pushing ourselves to grow with just a little less fear, knowing that we're not alone in our journeys. We would like to invite you to be a part of this community of brave, bold women who are going deep. Share your story. Visit us at beautybrainsbubbly.com. Stick around. Check out our other videos. Subscribe. Share the show with the women you love. We make a mighty and powerful tribe. This show is made possible through advertiser support, and we love getting discounts and special deals from them that we can share with all of you. To get the special offers that they've extended, click the affiliate links below or grab them on our website. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you again.